the world news tonight on BGI TV Currents, Tinubu set to return from France, plans to attend Dangote Refinery opening. Nigerian presidents don't need to seek medical treatment abroad. Trouble for Labour Party as court nullifies Otti'S candidature. Enugu Governor-elect Peter Mba's certificate not from us, NYSC. Group wants El-Rufai prosecuted after May 29. Tinubu's inauguration, Buhari's appointees Emefiele must not leave Nigeria. On sports, Super Eagles Adeleye nominated for Best Goalkeeper Award. Now the news in detail. President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu is expected to return to Nigeria from his working visit to France on Sunday, according to sources. Tinubu had left the country a week ago to focus on finalizing his transition programs and policy options with key aides away from unnecessary pressures and distractions. His media aide, Tunde Rahman, in a statement released last week, had noted that Tinubu, during his stay in France, will engage with investors and allies aiming to showcase investment opportunities in Nigeria. Before his departure, he met with the All Progressive Congress Working Committee endorsed candidates for the positions of Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas and Benjamin Kalu. Meanwhile, multiple sources within Tinubu's camp that spoke with Sponge have confirmed that he is expected to return to the country on the eve of the official opening of the Dangote Refinery complex. The highly anticipated refinery, with a capacity to refine 650,000 barrels of oil per day, is scheduled for launch by President Muhammadu Buhari on May 22. Situated in the expansive Lekki Free Zone area of Lagos, the Dangote Refinery is recognized as the largest single-train refinery globally, covering a vast land area of approximately 2,635 hectares. This land size surpasses that of the well-known Victoria Island in Lagos, with reports suggesting that the refinery has been completed and pre-inauguration tests underway. Nigerians are hopeful that the multi-billion-dollar oil refinery and petrochemical company will provide relief to the country's long-standing refining challenges. To the next story. First Lady Aisha Buhari has said Nigerian president do not need to seek medical treatment abroad anymore. She said these after President Muhammadu Buhari commissioned the new 21 billion naira presidential VIP wing of the State House Medical Center located within the precinct of Presidential Villa in Abuja. Speaking to House reporters after the president had caught the tape and concluded a guided tour of the facility, the First Lady said the facility would stop the need for the president and his family members to go abroad for medical treatment. Mrs. Buhari said she bought the idea of executing the project 6 years ago, following the extensive stay of her husband abroad for medical treatment. She said now that the facility is in place, Nigerian president and their family members will no longer need to go to abroad for treatment, but may only fly medical experts to assist their colleagues in the country. When asked about her impression of the new medical center, Mrs. Buhari said, "I'm quite happy, feeling fulfilled. Though we are living, but all the same, we thank God the project has come to reality." Going to politics. A federal high court in Kano, led by Justice M.N. Yunusa, has invalidated the candidacy of Abia State Governor-elect Dr. Alex Otti and all other Labour Party candidates in both Abia and Kano states. Information recalls that Otti, the governorship candidate of LP in Abia State, won the election held in March 2023. The court determined that the process leading to this candidate's selection was not in line with the requirement laid out in the 2022 Electoral Act. In the suit to FHC/KN/CS/107/2023 brought forth by Mr. Ibrahim Aruna Ibrahim against the Labour Party and the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, the court ruled that the Labour Party's failure to submit its membership register to INEC at least 30 days before the primaries invalidated the selection process. A party that has not complied with the provisions of the Electoral Act cannot be said to have a candidate in an election and cannot be declared the winner of an election. This being so, the vote credited to the forced defendant are wasted votes, Justice Eunice ruled. LP is currently battling a leadership crisis, which has seen a faction led by Lamidi Apapa emerge, while Julius Abure-led faction struggles to keep hold of the party. From that story from the north, we'll go to Enugu. The Director General of the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, Brigadier General Y.D. Ahmed, has said that the discharge certificate being paraded by Enugu State Governor-elect Barrister Peter Mba was not issued by the body. Brigadier General Ahmed, who was a guest on Arise Television's breakfast program Friday, the arguments on whether Mba has a valid NYSC certificate or not does not arise because he has told the PDP candidate in the 2023 governorship election that what he presented as a certificate was fake. He came to me and I called my director to confirm the certificate, and we discovered that the certificate was fake, and I told him, I wonder how elites who have gone to school will resort to black market certificates. Everyone knows how we issue our certificates in NYSC. We don't give it in hotel rooms or houses, the DG said. Peter Mba has reportedly filed a case against the NYSC, allegedly claiming 20 billion naira in damages for the injuries he claims have been caused by him through the controversy surrounding his discharge certificate. The controversy surrounding Mba's discharge certificate blew open in February 2023 when the NYSC, in response to an inquiry by a non-governmental organization, released a letter stating that the certificate submitted to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, was not issued by them. In April 2023, another letter repudiating the certificate was again issued following another inquiry by an Abia-based law firm, Silver & Co. Associates. On the purported suit by Mba, the NYSC Director General said he was not aware of any suit and will not respond based on hearsay. From Enugu, we go to Kaduna. Ahead of the end of its tenure, a civil society organization under the aegis of the Nigerian Movement for Probity and Accountability, NMP, has asked the federal government to commence the prosecution of the Kaduna State Governor, Nasir El-Rufai, over the sale of public properties when he was Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. The group said that proceeds from sales of the properties from 2005 to 2007 was 32 billion naira, and that the fund, however, allegedly disappeared without trace. In a statement on Friday by NMP's National Coordinator, Bako Isaac, National Secretary Madam Kauje, and Director of Publicity Salisu Abdulkader, the non-profit organization reminded the federal government, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, and other anti-graft agencies that the CSO said it was monitoring the case while it lasted in court until the time it was discontinued, but time was right for its continuation. It alleged that the governor knew well the guidelines set by the Federal Executive Council in the sales of FG houses, which they believe was not properly observed by El-Rufai at the time. We'll go straight to the next story. The coalition of northern groups CNG has cautioned that no appointee of President Muhammadu Buhari will, with any corruption allegation, should be allowed to leave Nigeria. The CNG also declared that CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele should not be allowed to leave the country until all allegations made against him were cleared. CNG spokesman Abdul Aziz Suleiman made it known in Abuja on Thursday during a press briefing. He added that those with such motives should be taken as enemies of the state and be dealt with in accordance with the provision of the law of the land. Suleiman said would demand that when the present administration of President Muhammadu Buhari bows out of office, all key office holders must be asked to clear themselves of all pending corruption and other allegations against them. The CNG insisted in particular that the CBN governor must be made to give account of his tenure to the incoming administration, saying that if any study leave had been approved for Emefiele or any other suspected officials, it should be cancelled in the interest of peaceful transfer of power, accountability, and good governance. The CNG observed that just recently, precisely on Monday, May 15, 2023, the Nigerian Police Headquarters confirmed that plots to scuttle the May 29th official inauguration of the new administration of the President-elect, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and governors at the state levels were real. Suleiman said that CNG demands that anybody or group found remotely involved with the financing, direct execution, or cancelling information on this sinister or diabolic scheme be treated appropriately as a treasonable felony, an enemy of the state and fellow citizens. From that story, we go to Dangote Refinery inauguration. As momentum drives towards the inauguration of the Dangote Refinery to commence operation this month, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited (NNPCL) has confirmed plans to make available 300,000 barrels of crude oil per day to Dangote Refinery so as to begin its operations, describing the development as a marketing opportunity. The Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPC, Malam Melekiari, on Thursday made a disclosure while delivering his address at the Nigeria Oil and Gas Opportunity Fair held at the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board Conference Center, BIOSA, centered on the theme, the oil and gas industry, catalyst and fuel for the industrialization of Nigeria. The NNPC boss at the biennial conference said, the NNPC saw the strategic interest of doing business, and we will be supplying 300,000 barrels of Nigerian crude to Dangote Refinery from NNPC. That is a marketing opportunity. Submitting that Nigeria must focus on gas production to expand its gas footprint, is said in doing so, the country will begin to succeed in creating the industrialization it craves. We go to military stories. The military says it lacks the capacity or technology to know the whereabouts of the Chibok girls abducted by Boko Haram insurgents in 2014. Director, Defense Media Operation, Major General Musa Damademi, said this in Abuja on Thursday while fielding questions from journalists after bi-weekly press briefing. Precisely on the Chibok girls are just like any other human beings like us here. You cannot see anybody walking and just identify that this is a Chibok girl. There is no way the military can have the capacity or technology to know that that's precisely this is where the Chibok girls are. It's quite some time now that these girls have been missing or abducted. So now, because of the intensity of operations, most of them are escaping from the terrorists and coming out. It's only when they come out that we can now identify that this is one of the abducted Chibok girls. Our troops are conducting operations daily in Sambisa Forest and are recovering weapons and ammunition. Majority of the weapons displayed for the Nigerians to see were recovered from Sambisa Forest, he claims. He also said that Sambisa Forest is not impenetrable, as operations were conducted there, forcing terrorists to come out and surrender. He assured that the military and other security agencies were working around the clock to make the May 29 presidential inauguration a success. From that story, we'll go to the foreign story. Britain unveiled new sanctions against Russia on Friday, targeting imports of diamonds and other minerals in a bid to choke Moscow's ability to fund the war in Ukraine. Before a G7 summit in Japan began, London said it would introduce a ban on Russia, diamonds, copper, aluminum, and nickel, and sanction more entities involved in Moscow's military-industrial complex. Russia's diamond trade is estimated to be worth $4 to $5 billion a year, netting the Kremlin much-needed tax revenues. Later in the day, the UK Foreign Office said the new sanctions would freeze the assets of 86 people and organizations. These include companies connected to theft of Ukrainian grain and those involved in shipment of Russian energy, it said. To end the World News this hour on BGI TV Current is a sports story. Super Eagles goalkeeper Adebayo Adeleye is in the running for the Best Goalkeeper Award in the Israeli Premier League. Adeleye has kept 10 clean sheets in 29 league appearances for his club, Hapoel Jerusalem, this season. The 23-year-old has conceded 33 goals and in the Israeli Premier League tie this season. The shortstopper recently penned a new 3-year contract with Hapoel Jerusalem. Adeleye has made 86 league appearances for the Castellon since his arrival in 2020. He is yet to make an appearance for the Super Eagles. That story ends the World News this hour. Before we go, some major headlines. Tinubu set to return from France, plan to attend Dangote Refinery inauguration. Nigerian president don't need to seek medical treatment abroad. Mrs. Buhari. Trouble for Labour Party as court nullifies Alex Otti'S candidate as governor-elect. Next story, Enugu governor-elect. Peter on birth certificate not from us. NYSC DG claims. Group 1's El-Rufai prosecuted after May 29. And lastly, Super Eagles Adeleye nominated for Best Goalkeepers Award. For more updates of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is BGI TV Current. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell, select option all to access our broadcast. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. For advert placement of your goods and services, coverage of events and functions, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen. Thank you for watching. Jumat Mufida, once again to all faithful Muslims all around the world. I am Morire Rabila Lawal. Good evening.